Hey guys, it's just me. I'm editing the video you guys are currently watching right now. Let me get serious here for a moment with you guys. As most of you know, I was in Vermont on vacation last week, and I called the old man, asked him, what is he gonna do in the house since I'm not there to work, all that, and you know how Jasper was missing for two of the videos. Well, he had been missing for about a week at that point, and the old man told me he found him, but he had some bad news. Jasper had been paintballed and beaten near to death. Um, uh, Dad, gave him food, gave him a nice little warm place to cuddle up and all that. He was eating and being all lovey dovey. And the old man saw him that Tuesday and saw him Wednesday, and we haven't seen him since. So, for those of you expecting Jasper to open this up, I'm sorry. Um, I'm worried about him, and I don't know. I don't know where he is, but hopefully he'll be found soon. And hopefully he'll be in good spirits. Thanks for listening, guys, and enjoy the video.
Don't try this at home. We're not professionals.
Not by any means, but hopefully you can learn from our mistakes.
Hey, guys, and welcome back to House Renovations, Chapter 3, Episode 1. Again, as you guys saw in the beginning, we don't have any Jasper to open this up with us, but hopefully we'll see him soon.
The reason why this roof is falling apart and rotting is because the way they put the new roofing on. There's supposed to be a thing called tar paper, okay, or roofing paper.
AKA those two rolls that you see there, the black rolls.
On top of this, when I started pulling the shingles off just to see what it looks like, they put a plastic tarp underneath it, which is not totally waterproof. Once you put a nail in it, it leaks. So moisture gets through, and this is what happens when you do a job improperly.
Hey, good morning, guys, and welcome to House Renovations Chapter 3, Episode 1. As you can see, we're up on the roof. So, as you guys saw in the previous clip, we got our work cut out for us. This tear down will probably be about, 20 minutes or so?
Yeah, 20 minutes, half hour.
So, I'm afraid to see what's underneath, but I'll see you guys in a moment.
Considering we didn't know the extent of the water damage on the roof, the old man didn't want me up there because if he was going to fall through, I definitely would have fallen through. You guys will see the extent of the damage towards the end of the video. Now remember, guys, that roof was definitely not safe. So you see the old man here taking his time and being careful and making sure he's getting everything up. But we found an unexpected surprise.
Old man, how do you feel about getting, Oprah'd by your own house? Underneath this tarp is another roof.
This is hack job. This is the problems with this world. People can't do things right the first time.
And again, you see the old man ripping off roof number 2. So yeah, that 20 to 30 minute job turned into an all-day thing. Oh, but we weren't done with the surprises.
Guess what? It's a third fucking roof. A third one.
Oh, and don't think I was just sitting idly by, staring at the old man ripping off the roof.
Alright guys, as you guys know, I'm not allowed on the roof until we put the new trusses in. But my job has been the cleanup crew on the ground to make sure that everything is neat. As you see, Dad is starting to work on he's not starting to work, he's working on the second layer, and then moving on to the third. But stay tuned. This is a lot more than we thought it was going to be.
So, all of a sudden, the old man threw a huge chunk of something at me. Let me show you guys what that huge chunk was.
This is how you know they were being cheap, just to be cheap. Alright, this came out of the corner that Dad was just working on. Right there, you see that nice little thick glob of whatever it looks like on there? That's tar. They literally sealed the corners of the house with just slapping on a huge ass pile of tar. Yeah.
Now, there were certain parts of the roof that Dad would have just absolutely fell through when he was getting on that third layer. So he asked me to hop up on the ladder, and I'll show you what I was up to.
And I bet you guys are wondering why we're doing this roof. That's why. We're down to the final layer, and yeah. One snowstorm, that whole roof was gonna collapse.
And I bet y'all are wondering how the old man didn't fall through. Let me show you what we did on the inside, just to be safe.
Alright, guys. Now, just in case so we don't go through the roof, or in this case, Dad at the moment for the teardown, we did brace it. Skadoosh.
Now, the project was absolutely frustrating, but who says you can't have a little fun while doing it? Peep this shot of the old man.
Clear.
And when we finally got down to the very meat and potatoes of it, here's what everything looked like with all the damage. All of the wood was coming up from the panel underneath. It was just bad. Again, one snowstorm, that whole thing was collapsing.
Alright, guys, that's all the time we have for it today. Thank you for watching Chapter 3, Episode 1. As you see, the roof has been, torn off, mostly. And it has been tarped down, considering it's raining and it's going to rain for a good chunk of this week. Yeah, that tarp is going to come in real handy. But stay tuned for the next episode, which will be finishing off the tear off, and hopefully I get to show you some of that framework.
Don't try this at home. We're not professionals.
Not by any means, but hopefully you can learn from our mistakes.
Hey guys, and welcome back to House Renovations, Chapter 3. Now, unfortunately there will be no Jasper this week. We still haven't been able to track him down, but when we do, you guys will know.
Good morning, guys, and welcome to House Renovations, Chapter 3, Episode 2. Now, we're starting this off a little bit more unusual because we're going to show you today who we're doing this all for, alright? This is Mom. She's the reason that Dad purchased the house. She's the reason that we're doing this room, because we're going to be converting that to their winter bedroom, because it's going to be the most up-to-date room in the house. Now, today's project, we're going to be replacing the trusses, and we're going to be getting the plywood up, and hopefully getting the tar paper down so we can do the shingling maybe next week. But, you got anything to say for us, Ma?
Thank you.
And we do all this out of love for you.
Absolutely. Now, let me quit jabbering and let's get to work.
So I had an eye exam, and the old man wanted to get to work. So he decided to set up the camera and record him tearing off the rest of the roof. Enjoy the montage. So I got back from my eye exam, and I decided to start the fire.
Alright, guys, fire started. Let me get my jabbering ass to work.
So the old man and I decided to remove the drywall from the ceiling.
Alright, guys, I'm currently still not allowed up here, but I did help rip out the last thing of drywall. That is the bare skeleton of the roof, and that is the old man.
Now it was time to remove the old trusses.
Alright, guys, all 5 trusses have been removed. They weren't light, let me tell ya. And that, guys, is the roof removed. Say hi, old man.
Hi.
So, some of the framing for the roof was rotted out. So what we did is called scabbing. Well, we cut the old rotting wood off and replaced it with new wood and made sure we toenailed it all together. Up next, getting the brackets in for the trusses.
That right there is a bracket for a truss.
We were running out of daylight fast, but were stubborn and decided to work well into the night. We got the trusses up and secured and prepped for the following morning.
Good morning, guys. And today, as you guys saw in the previous clip, we worked well into the night last night. Well, today we're going to be putting the sheeting on the roof, going to be putting the tar paper down. But first things first, we're going to be doing what's called bracing. So we're going to be basically reinforcing the joists and the trusses, as we've been calling them. Reinforcing them so the roof doesn't shake, there's no wobble. It just makes it so it doesn't bow like it did before. But let me quit yabbering and let me get to work.
So the old man measured for the braces, and we cut the wood.
Alright, guys, and for the braces, we have a 26-inch, one 25.5-inch. We have two 24 3/4 inches, four 24.5 inches, and two 24 1/4 inches.
My apologies for not getting any footage of us throwing them up, but it was definitely a two-person job.
Alright, guys, the braces are up. Up next is the plywood sheeting.
Look, guys, I wasn't kidding when I said those things were heavy, and they were soaked with water from rain for like the last 2 weeks. It was a pain getting them up there.
Alright, guys, I know it looks like we're not covering it properly with the sheeting, but here's the thing. You have to stagger it for the roof's structural integrity. You know, if you all line them up and the seams are all in the same spots, you're just going to get weak spots and leaks, and it's not fun. So, up next we're going to be cutting sheeting to fill in the gaps that we got. Alright, guys, the sheeting is all down. Up next, the tar paper.
Now that we had the new trusses in and the new sheeting up there, I was finally allowed on the roof, and you guys can see me in my natural element up there. I've done roofing for on and off for 15 years roughly, so I kind of had an idea of what I was doing.
There you go, guys. Tar paper is down. Alright, guys, and that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching House Renovations Chapter 3, Episode 2. Now, as you guys see, we got the tar paper on. Next week will come the shingling. It's going to be about Wednesday or Thursday-ish, guys, so stay tuned, and I'll see you guys later.
Don't try this at home. We're not professionals.
Not by any means, but hopefully you can learn from our mistakes.
Hey guys, and welcome back to House Renovations. Chapter 3. Still no sign of Jasper. Again, when I know and see him, you guys will know and see him.
Good morning, guys, and welcome to House Renovations Chapter 3, Episode 3. Now, today's goal is to get the fascia board on, get these end caps built, get the drip edge on, and finally get the shingling on, or at least getting it prepared for shingling. Now, let me quit yapping. As you see, the old man's already getting to work and beating me to it. I'll see you guys after I start the fire. Alright, guys, fire started. Let's get to work.
First things first, getting that fascia hung up right above the door. Tell you what, getting that first piece of fascia up was a real pain in the patella, but it's absolutely worth it in the end. Here we are, hanging up the outer fascia above the door, and I'll tell you what, that went in way smoother than the first one.
Alright, guys, so for the finished wall, well, almost finished wall, there is the fascia board. As you guys saw, it was a real pain in the ass to get that first board up, but Dad got the second one up while I had to run an errand for Ma.
Up next were the end caps for the window wall.
All right, so now we're putting in the end caps of the roof. Because, I mean, if you guys look right there, you can see directly into the room.
You guys ever wonder how the old man's brain works? Well, here's a sneak peek, and if you get seasick really easily, skip past this clip.
I mean, case in point, old man's gonna give you the bird's eye view. That's the room. So yeah, the end caps prevent the air from obviously coming in, and they're attached. They're attached near the window header.
I'm messing with their heads, so make sure you leave all that in there. I'm rolling it.
So the rest of the end caps were finished, and here's the finished product.
And that, guys, is the end caps finished.
Now it's time to fabricate the fascia and hang it on that far left wall. Now, this wall was by far the easiest to put the fascia board up. And as you see, the outer fascia was stupid easy to put up too. Now, there was a slight overhang, but as you see, the old man is putting the framing square up, marking it, and trimming it down. Now on to our final portion of the fabrication and hanging of the fascia, the window wall. Now, what we did different here is that we had to screw from the roof down into the fascia board itself. We did tack on some screws on the face of it though afterwards.
All right, guys. So the fascia board is up, or soffit, whatever one you want to call it. It's fascia. Soffit hasn't been put up yet, but so we got it done all the way around. And up next is this handy dandy little metal stuff called the drip edge.
Now, normally you get your fascia board up, you get your drip edge on, and then you put your tar paper. But considering the other day we had to face rain coming in, Dad wanted to make sure that the roof was waterproof. So we kind of did things a little backwards, but turns out pretty good in the end. All right, so normally when you're putting on your drip edge, you're nailing it every 4 to 6 inches with the nail pew pew. But considering we did things a little bit backwards and Dad wanted it really secure, he decided to screw it in. Up next, we're going to show you how to corner cut a drip edge.
All right, the old man's going to show you guys how to cut a corner when it comes to the drip edge. First of all, he measured the length he needed from the drip edge up there to the corner. You see he cut that triangle out. Watch this, guys. So simple. He's going to take the framing square there and just bend it right in on itself, and boom. There's an inch corner for you guys.
It's called a 45.
That is a 45, yes.
With that corner cut, we decided to carry on. Drip edge is cut a certain way so that water runs down it and goes into your gutters instead of going into the roof below.
All right, guys, that white you see right there is the drip edge. The drip edge has been properly applied all around. Up next, Dad's going to be working on the flashing at the ridge. As you see here, the old man is removing the previous flashing so he can re-flash along the ridge there.
We took our measurement and we needed 10 feet of flashing. We bent it on the ground, brought it up, and the old man decided to install it.
All right, guys, last part of the day, solar tape. All right, guys, we are all solar taped up. Now, what this does is it makes a final seal between the white drip edge and the black tar paper. All right, we are all set. Dad finished the pretty flashing. And there you go. All right, guys, and that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching House Renovations Chapter 3, Episode 3. Now, we didn't get to the shingling today, but that's coming tomorrow. Well, stay tuned, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.
Don't try this at home. We're not professionals.
Not by any means, but hopefully you can learn from our mistakes.
Hey guys, and welcome back to House Renovations Chapter 3. Now, again, no Jasper, haven't been able to find him, but again, when I find him and see him, you guys will too.
Good morning, guys, and welcome to House Renovations Chapter 3, Episode 4. Now, today is not going to be a necessarily long video. We're going to be putting up the shingling today, and I do want to apologize for the hiatus between videos. We've had a lot of rain, and we've also had that cursed S word, snow. So, but let me quit yapping. Let me get the fire started because it's a really cold one. As you can see my breath. And I'll see you guys soon. All right, guys, fire started. Let's get to work.
As I said previously, we had quite a bit of different ranging precipitation, and the old man decided to take the leaf blower and blow off the roof and dry it a bit. While the old man ran inside to grab some coffee and talk to Mom, I decided to bring a few bundles of shingles up to the roof. Now, depending on the type of shingles that you get, they can weigh anywhere between 50 to 80 pounds a bundle. Let's rip those bad boys open and start laying down some shingle. And now, for your quick educational segment from the old man.
All right, old man, first set of shingles are down, but why is it backwards? Do you care to enlighten the audience?
It's what they call bottom course. It goes backwards because there's a water seal between the roof. So what happens, you put your next shingle with the grooves facing this way. If you put them both the same way, the water will run down into the tar paper instead of on top of the shingle and off the roof. So you got the next course goes on top of it. This groove will be up here. Okay, and this groove's down here so it can't leak water.
Now, let's get some more courses up there. Well, the old man wanted to show you guys us working on the roof, and we didn't exactly have a good setup. But the old man rigged something up. Let me show you.
The lengths we go to get the best shot for you guys. That's our cut table. That's a bungee cord. Yeah.
Now we had the new recording set up. Let's get back to laying some more shingle. Now here's something you guys rarely see from these videos.
The parts we don't normally show you. When the nail pew pew wants to be frustrating and not actually load the nails. Alright guys, 22 runs in. Look at that. Looks absolutely stunning and beautiful. We are almost done.
Here's a picture for reference. It was looking amazing. So, as we were closing in on the back wall, you guys saw that that corner of the roof is kind of oddly shaped. Here's what the old man did.
So what you guys are seeing right now is the old man is trimming a piece of shingle in order to fit into the corner down there. Alright guys, that's the shingles down. Up next, we got to trim the overhang on both sides.
So the old man busted out the electric cutter and went to work. The reason he's doing it and I'm not, because if I messed up that drip edge, he would have my head, for sure.
Alright guys, as you see, the overhang is trimmed on this side, looking all clean up in the front, and then the overhang is trimmed on that side. Alright guys, and that's all the time we have for House Renovations Chapter 3, Episode 4. Now this is the final part of Chapter 3. We got the roof done. We're going to be worrying about the painting and the rest of the caulking later on. But the roof is done, the outside is fully covered. Up next in Chapter 4 is going to be the interior. Now we're not going to have a few videos for a couple weeks, and I apologize on that, but we need to get materials, rest the bodies up, and make a floor plan for the new room. Until then, I'll see you guys later, and thank you for watching.
Now, considering this is coming out the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, if you celebrate it, happy Thanksgiving to you. If not, still, happy holidays to you. And I hope the Cowboys win.